Welcome to the world of towering battle mechs and tactical warfare, a universe where steel giants ruled the battlefield. Today we're diving into a classic that set the stage for a whole new genre, MechWarrior. This isn't just a story of robots clashing in futuristic landscapes, it's a tale of innovation, challenge, and the birth of a legacy that reshaped gaming. In the late 1980s, this video game was set not only to capitalize on the fascination with mechanized combat, but also expand it into a narrative-driven experience that engaged players like never before. MechWarrior was more than just a game. It was a groundbreaking entry into what would become a rich universe of stories, battles, and strategy. As we explore this iconic title, we'll uncover the intricate details of its creation, the barriers it broke, the minds behind its inception, and the profound impact it had on the gaming landscape. Stay tuned as we delve into the origins of MechWarrior, exploring the creative minds at Dynamix and the unique challenges they faced bringing their vision to life in an era of rapidly evolving technology. So let's gear up and step into the cockpit to discover what made this game a true pioneer in the world of video games. In 1989, the gaming landscape was forever changed with the release of MechWarrior by development studio Dynamix and publisher Activision. This game was built upon the foundation of the BattleTech universe, a richly detailed world of futuristic combat originally crafted for tabletop games by FASA Corporation. The leap from tabletop to digital wasn't just a shift in the medium. It was a bold move that brought the intricate battles of massive mechs to life in a way never seen before. Dynamix, under the leadership of the likes of Paul Bowman, the designer, and Jeff Tunnell, a producer, took the ambitious task of translating complex tabletop mechanics into an interactive 3D world. This adaptation required not just technical prowess, but also a deep understanding of the BattleTech lore, which was beloved by a dedicated fanbase. The development team worked closely with FASA to ensure that the essence of BattleTech was preserved, while also making the game accessible to players unfamiliar with the background. The connection between MechWarrior and BattleTech was not merely thematic, it was integral to the game's design and narrative. Players were thrust into the role of a mech pilot, or MechWarrior, embarking on a quest for revenge in a narrative that wove personal stories with broader political intrigue involving noble houses and interstellar warfare. This was a game that did more than challenge players' strategic thinking and combat skills. It invited them into a story that was expansive and immersive. The development process was anything but straightforward. Working within the technical limitations of the MS-DOS systems, the team faced numerous challenges. PCs in 1989 were primitive by today's standards, with limited processing power, memory, and graphical capabilities. Creating a first-person simulation that conveyed the scale and complexity of piloting a battle mech was no easy feat. Dynamix enjoyed a mix of sprite-based graphics and used 2D sprites to give an illusion of depth and perspective, characteristics of the limited technology available at the time. The game utilized 16-color EGA graphics, and Dynamix pushed these constraints to the limit, creating a dynamic world that filled with various terrains, structures, and enemies. At its core, MechWarrior is a first-person mech simulation game where players take control of powerful mechanized units known as battle mechs. These machines, pivotal to the game's strategy and appeal, are not just tanks with legs. They are complex platforms for warfare, equipped with a wide array of weapons and systems that could be customized to fit different combat roles and personal strategies. The game's setting is the fictional universe of the Inner Sphere during the late 31st century, a galaxy-spanning region dominated by noble houses and mercenary corporations. Players assume the role of Gideon Braver Vandenberg, a young noble whose family is betrayed and murdered, leaving him to reclaim his stolen heritage and exact revenge. This personal narrative drives the player not just through the battlefields, but through a plot thick with intrigue, betrayal, and alliances, showcasing the game's depth beyond mere combat. In terms of gameplay mechanics, MechWarrior offered an innovative mix of real-time combat and tactical decision-making. Players had to manage their mech's heat level, weapon systems, and armor integrity during battles, making combat a challenging balance of aggressive tactics and defensive positioning. The game also introduced a repair and refit system, where players could upgrade and customize their mechs between missions, adding a layer of strategy that extended beyond the immediate battlefield. A major component of this open-ended gameplay was the economic system. As the commander of a mercenary unit, players had to manage their finances carefully. Money wasn't just a score or a way to buy more weapons, it was the lifeblood of the game. Players needed to earn enough from contracts to pay their crew, repair and upgrade their mechs, and maintain their operations. Contracts were varied, from defending a city under attack to hunting down rogue mechs or even performing recon missions. Each contract came with its own set of rewards and risks, requiring players to weigh their options carefully before accepting a mission. It wasn't just about shooting and moving, it was about thinking, planning, and then executing with precision, making each mission feel like a significant event in the unfolding of Gideon Braver's quest for vengeance and justice. So upon its release in 1989, MechWarrior was met with acclaim, capturing the attention of both fans of the Battletech universe and new players alike. The game's blend of tactical depth, narrative intrigue, and cutting-edge technology helped it carve out a unique niche within the gaming community. It resonated particularly well with players who appreciated the strategic elements of tabletop gaming combined with the immersive qualities of a first-person simulator. The gaming press praised MechWarrior for its successful adaptation of the complex Battletech lore into a compelling video game format. This adaptation was not trivial. It involved a detailed translation of a tabletop game known for its strategic depth and rich setting into a dynamic and interactive 3D style experience. Sales figures reflected the game's positive reception, with robust members that underscored its popularity. This game not only appealed to hardcore gamers, but also attracted a broader audience, intrigued by its unique combination of action, strategy, and the role-playing elements. This broader appeal helped establish the game as a significant commercial success, paving the way for numerous sequels and expansions which would continue to explore and expand the Battletech universe. Subsequently, the success of the original 1989 release catalyzed the development of numerous sequels and spin-offs, each building on the foundation first set by the original game. The first sequel, MechWarrior 2: 31st Century Combat, released in 1995, pushed the boundaries further with vastly improving graphics and more intricate gameplay mechanics. It was heralded for its atmospheric and immersive experience, boasting a complex physics engine and a more dynamic combat system that allowed for a greater range of movement and strategic planning. This sequel also offered players the choice between different factions, adding a layer of depth to the storytelling and replayability. Following MechWarrior 2, the series continued with MechWarrior 3 in 1999 and MechWarrior 4 Vengeance in 2000, each installment introducing new technological advancements and expanding the narrative scope of the universe. MechWarrior 3 enhanced the realism of the mech simulations, offering even more detailed control over mech customization and battle tactics, while MechWarrior 4 provided a more narrative-driven approach, featuring a personal story of revenge that echoed the original game's plot. The series also inspired a range of expansions and spin-offs, such as MechWarrior 4 Mercenaries, which allowed players to experience the life of a mercenary mech pilot, making decisions that would affect their standing with different factions and significantly impact the game's outcome. This game, in particular, was praised for its engaging mission design and the freedom it offered players to shape their own story within the Battletech universe. The series has maintained relevance in the gaming community, evidenced by the release of MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries in 2019, which sought to recapture the classic feel of mech combat with modern graphics and game design techniques. The enduring popularity of the MechWarrior series underscored its significant impact on the industry itself, particularly in how it shaped players' expectations for simulation complexity and narrative depth in games. Today, the influence of MechWarrior is evident not only in video games, but also in the broader cultural footprint of the Battletech universe. It helped bring the rich lore and expansive world of Battletech to a wider audience, enhancing its status as a beloved franchise across various media. The game's legacy is reflected in the continued popularity of the MechWarrior titles, including new adaptations, re-releases on modern gaming platforms, ensuring that new generations of players can experience the game that once set the standard for mech simulation and narrative depth in gaming. Now, as we close the cockpit on our exploration of MechWarrior, we reflect not just on a game that put giant robots on the map, literally and figuratively, but also on a game that shaped the hearts and trigger fingers of countless gamers. It was more than just a chance to stomp around in a massive mech. It was a groundbreaking journey into a universe where technology, strategy, and storytelling collided with explosive results. From wireframe graphics that changed our simpler, pixel-loving hearts to a narrative that turned us all into vengeful nobles in space, MechWarrior wasn't just ahead of its time, it was practically making its own time zone. So, whether you're a die-hard fan who still dreams of mech, or a new recruit gearing up for your first drop, the legacy of this game continues to echo through the gaming universe, one booming mech step at a time. And remember, in the world of MechWarriors, it's not just about how many mechs you blow up, but how many times you can eject from your cockpit before realizing you might just be in the wrong line of work. Thanks for joining me in this tech-tastic trip down memory lane. Keep your lasers sharp and your reactors cool. If you enjoyed exploring the history and making of MechWarrior, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.